tape is rolling, and whenever you're ready, action.
Dave, Hobbs, thank you guys both for coming out today to the Alberta Comics grand opening. I know you guys came to support the community as a whole, but my particular function here was to promote mentorship, whereby our company is trying to establish a relationship between mentors and students in local communities, whereby you guys can establish a working relationship based on a debt-free mindset, finding the student scholarships and graduating debt-free. So Dave, just first, tell me your experience with mentorship in general, maybe your past with mentorship and any type of entrepreneurship that you're presently involved in that deals in community-focused mentoring.
Well, I work with a few different programs, one called Up and Over. I do a lot of traveling to different middle schools. I've been to some high schools, and I really go in and I just kind of break down a lot of my history to the kids, my grind, my struggle, my successes, some of the things that worked, some things that didn't. Just to try to provide a little bit of insight and, what to expect, and to be resilient. So my experience has always been pretty cool, I'm in the clothing business, I got a brand called Stack the Kids. The kids are genuinely excited about a brand dedicated to the culture, and so they're more prone to take me serious and want to hear what I got to say. So with that being said, I find it pleasant, I find it worthwhile and productive to be able to break some of those things down in order to build them up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I find that story so connecting, primarily because we're sitting here next to Hobbs here, who is a young entrepreneur himself, has a style and clothing brand of himself. Why don't you tell us about your style and your clothing brand?
I am a young entrepreneur, like you said. I've been within the industry for the past 2.5 years.
2.5 years, awesome.
So yeah, and it's just really been able to use my entrepreneurship as a platform to pursue my dreams and my goals. Primarily being dance, and I just really, it's like a learning process. So as I go on, I'm expanding my business. I'm still learning.
Right. So you've got an entrepreneurial mindset. You're an artist and a dancer, and you constantly promote yourself using your own style and your clothing brand. And now we've been able to connect you here with a community member, a fluent member and entrepreneur who has his own style clothing brand for the past about 10 years or so. How valuable do you think our mentorship role here would be at establishing and forming connections like this, like we brought you two together, for other students that may be in your same shoes?
I think that'd be very beneficial, especially so they can learn from others' experiences and really expand and kind of really explore, and that they could be fostered in a really good way, and building those relationships are really good, but then also being able to have that mentorship, them being able to excel maybe even more than their mentor did or so.
And so I'm sure your mentor would agree, you always want to do greater than who came before you, so he would encourage you to do better than he is, not to meet him at the level and not to try to come short either,
Right.
Go hard, right? And so you as a mentor, Dave, what advice could you give young Hobbs in this particular scenario when it comes to starting a clothing line, building a brand, and continuing to follow your dream?
Oh man, it's so much. I think number one is just make sure that you network and that you at places like this. Being in the community, supporting projects and groundbreaking grand openings and things like that is super important, because when you're visible, it means you're available. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Building a brand from their basement, but never show their face in the community, where you never recognize your brand is never tied to you. And also keeping your energy right. Being respectful, making sure love is being spread continuously and constantly, staying creative, making sure your lane is significant to you as an individual and your own passion. You know what I mean? In doing so, you carve out your own map, your own GPS. You know what I mean? You can go where you want to go, man, like that. And it's a universe thing. You got certain gifts, certain talents, as long as you stick with you and what's internal, and not try to adapt to what's popular and external, you should maintain, really, really crisp, unique value to the community, to the industry, and that's always a you know a good way to start, man. You know, and just make sure you connect with people and stay talking to people and stay branded, you know, and stay available. You know?
Awesome. Hobbs, mentor here sitting next to you, 10 years of experience in what you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions jumping off the top of your head that you can ask us that can help propel you to the next level, maybe in as fast as 48 hours even?
Like, really, I know my demographic and my audience that I'm generally trying to sell to, but I'm always curious, like, about how I can really make those transactions with people, and also especially be making relationships with people where I have long-lasting transactions going back and forth.
So repeat customers.
Like what you mean, like
customers, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, man. The main way I've been able to do that is really by connecting people on a personal level. You know, because you are your brand, and I think a lot of times people don't realize how closely us as individuals tied in with our brands, and our brand reflect everything we do, and whatever we do, you know, reflects our brand. You know. And so, with that being said, make people feel good. You know, people should always feel good around you. They should always feel good talking to you. They should be inspired by your energy. Your vibe should really make them feel at home and safe. In doing so, people just, it starts to get a little bit away from, well, I just like his clothes or his art. I like him. It's about you, and you're selling yourself. And so, a lot of people try to separate their brand with their self, and I don't think that's really. I don't think that makes a lot of sense as far as progression goes and connecting with people. Because in the end, people buying the experience with you. Your brand is just one way to connect that dot. You know what I mean? And so as long as you make people feel loved, make them feel strong and inspired, you know, powerful, and you know, they'll always have your back. You know, it's gotten to a point to where people don't even care what I'm selling at this point. As long as it's coming from me, like they're gonna support me. And that's the secret that I think a lot of people need to take more advantage of and be more accountable to their energy and how they make people feel and the essence that they carry when they walk in the room. You know, that's the main thing I would say that's going to always keep people coming back to buy whatever it is you're selling, whatever you're marketing, whatever you represent. Like, they will be committed to you as an individual, and they will feel like they're part of your journey. And make sure, you know, get people involved with your ideas, with your designs, get their feedback involved, make them feel like they're part of the brand success, you know, and then you will develop like really, really faithful supporters.
That's an awesome answer. How do you feel about the answer? Do you feel it touches any of the concepts that you've been thinking about over the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's just really I'm trying to condition a lot of relationships with people.
Relationships.
And always actually, especially when doing marketing, just like showing up in the community versus just marketing on like online, making those real connections is really good, and that is result of lots of transactions, lots of follow-ups, lots of business leads. And
what is your brand? What's the name of your company?
My company is City Troll LLC, which is my urban lifestyle line.
What's it called?
City Troll.
City Troll?
Yeah.
City Troll LLC. Last question. So Dave here was a mentor, engaging in our mentorship app, Fund My College app for students, whereby he was able to place a real-time scholarship here at this local event and gathering. You found that scholarship and you were able to match with it. And as you can see, we're sitting here. Both of you guys are entrepreneurs in apparels and trying to create your own brand and style. How do you feel about the mentorship Fund My College app and how it brought you guys together and how the relationship could build from here on?
It's gonna be me.
Oh, we'll go with you first.
Man, it's amazing. I'm a big fan of mentorship. I'm a big fan of sharing knowledge and information. And I think the more creative ways to do that, I think the merrier, you know. And I honestly believe that, you know, I think a lot of times, I mean, to be real, I mean, sometimes when you're younger, I mean, sometimes your motivation is just being able to buy stuff. And so having the money aspect in there, but like subsequently also helping them like protect their future finances for their future goals as far as education goals or whatever they pursuing in life as a goal, you know. I think that's amazing, because in the end it's kind of just going to like force people to invest in themselves, you know what I'm saying, over time, because we don't always consciously want to do that at that age, but being able to, you know, like you said, the 5%, I think at the end of the week or whatever, like even just that 5% is enough motivation for somebody to go out and make these connections. And in the end, you're making connections, you get your 5%, but your 95% is backed up for your future, which is kind of a sort of an extra incentive, I think, that they may not really be considering at that time, but in the long term, it's protecting them. So I like the creativity involved in that. I think it's amazing. I think it's going to do extremely well, man. And it's a blessing, man, to have a mind to even come up with such an app, you know, to reach people on that level, especially where they at on their phones. I think that's amazing, bro.
Thank you so very much. Hobbs, what did you think about your student experience?
I really like it. I think it's really good, like we've been saying, to really be able to foster and condition those relationships, especially being able to have like a mentor for young entrepreneurs or people who are trying to pursue specific careers, so they don't really have to, they can navigate, but they don't have to navigate independently. Like they can have that independence, but they're not alone, and they can share with someone's experience, past experiences, and yeah, I think I really like it, and I think it's a really good opportunity, and I think a lot of people should invest in it.
Yeah, and the questions are encouraging them to actually think along the way and start to think about how they feel about the world. You know, like in order to unlock, you know, the gift or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like you still have to think a little bit about how you feel about certain things, and you have to kind of go a little deep in yourself. So it forces them to look into themselves in order to protect themselves, you know, for the future.
Yes.
Love it.
What's your favorite feature about the app?
I like just exploring the map and going around, trying to find the scholarships, and I also think that's really beneficial because, you know, not only are you looking for the scholarships, but you get introduced to the community, and you're not so internal, you know, you become external and you become immersed with the community and you meet new people along your journey, your voyage to success.
Man, to success. And thank you guys so much, because young man, I think you are going to be very successful in your ventures and everything you do.
Truly.
Dave, thank you so much for connecting with this young brother and becoming a mentor and mentorship. Thank you guys both for your time today. I'm looking forward to great things for myself and great things from you, and further great things from you as well. So thank you.
Keep up the good
Thank
work,
you.
bro.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool.